Columbia, Missouri, September 9. Deebo Samuel. Photo by Ed Zurga, Getty Images. The second round of the NFL Draft is where successful teams are able to build depth, find starters, and land quality players to join their teams. Often, second-round picks carry significant value, as the undervalued potential first-round picks are available, and there are guys that can fill roles at the very least. This year, the Washington Redskins are facing a critical draft, and they will need to find success in the second round. This year, there figures to be plenty of talent in the second round, and a lot of the depth in this draft comes at positions that the Skins need. There will be interior linemen, receivers, and maybe even a quarterback or two that could be worth considering with their second-round pick. In recent years, the Redskins have gotten a mixed bag of value from their second-round picks. Last year, Darius Geis was set to start at running back, but he ultimately suffered a torn ACL and didn't play as a rookie. A year before him, Ryan Anderson was drafted earlier than many expected. So far, he hasn't done a lot but will have a chance to play a key role in the pass-rushing rotation this year. Before Anderson, the team spent picks on guys like Preston Smith and Trent Murphy. Both are with other organizations now. Redskins coaching staff and front office really need to hit on their second-round pick this year to greatly improve their squad. Here's a look at 5 of their top second-round options at the moment that they could consider in the second round of the draft. Page 2 MORGANTOWN in November 23, Will Grier. Photo by Justin K. Getty Images. If the Redskins pass on a quarterback in the first round and don't trade for Josh Rosen, they will almost certainly take one on day 2 of the draft. The team has done a lot of work on the top quarterback prospects in the draft, and they certainly will draft one. Will Grier is one of the passers that Washington could have an interest in on day 2. He had a great career at West Virginia and possesses the skills needed to be a starter at the next level. He will need a little development, but he has a gunslinger's mentality, adequate arm strength, and an understanding of the game. All he'll need to get next is consistency. Our own Ian Cummings actually ranked Grier higher than probable round 1 quarterback Daniel Jones on his quarterback big board. Here's what he said about Grier in that piece. Grier doesn't necessarily fit the traditional mold as well, but it's 6'2", 217, his size is very adequate, and he backs it up with good on-field traits. In the short and intermediate ranges, Grier has solid accuracy, and he has enough arm elasticity to generate velocity, although it trickles out on longer passes. He hits the seams very well, and some of his best throws knife through defenders to reach their target. He also has the ability to hit targets on the run with his athleticism. The ability to succeed outside of structure is there with a Grier, and while his fearlessness can lead to trouble, it ultimately helps him maximize certain opportunities. Grier's system at West Virginia made life a bit easier for him. His throws weren't often anticipatory or predicated on progressions, and in the NFL, he may have to make a transition mentally. The same can be said for Daniel Jones, however, as Jones operated out of the quick game fairly often, and didn't best Grier with his progression work. Overall, Grier seems to be a comparable athlete to Jones, and his traits as a thrower, at this point, ultimately exceed Jones. The two are close, but Grier's aggressive mentally will be easier to build off of at the next level, for teams looking for a potential starter at good value. Grabbing Grier on day 2 would be all about the value. He could become a starter and he will almost certainly be available in round 2. The Redskins could choose to take him for that reason. Of course, it's also possible that the Skins wait until round 3 to try and grab Grier, who may make it to their first pick in that round. That's why he comes in at 5th on this list, but it's still well within the realm of possibility for him to be a first-round pick. Page 3 TEMP, as, in November 10, wide receiver N'Keal Harry. The Arizona State Sun Devils 131-28. Photo by Jennifer Stewart, Getty Images. The Redskins are desperate for receiver help. Josh Doctson has largely been a bust during his NFL career. Paul Richardson has been injury-prone and missed most of his first season with the Redskins. And Trey Quinn will be tasked with replacing Jamison Crowder in the slot, but he struggled with health concerns as a rookie. So, trusting him is no guarantee. N'Keal Harry could be a great pickup for the Redskins. Harry was a highly productive receiver at Arizona State, and he has the skills needed to be a versatile, inside-outside threat and no.2 receiver at the NFL level. And for a team like the Skins, he could get a chance to develop as the no.1 receiver, who could help to accelerate his growth. I'm a fan of Harry's skill set, and had him ranked as the number 5 overall receiver in this draft on my wide receiver big board. Here's what I said about him in that piece. More from Rigos, where Gary was a big-bodied playmaker at Arizona State. He was able to go up and get jump balls consistently and showcased excellent functional strength when ripping balls away from opposing defenders. Harry moves pretty well with the ball in his hands, too, and is a decent route runner, though he sometimes has happy feet at the line of scrimmage. He has long arms and should find a home as a high-end no.2 receiver in an offense. Harry did a lot to quell concerns about his separation skills at the Combine, as he clocked a 4.53 time in the 40-yard dash. For a 6'2", 228-pound receiver, that's pretty good. He looked good in the on-field drills and certainly should have a chance to be a playmaker at the next level. And given that he has had consistent touchdown production and has back-to-back 1,000-yard receiving seasons plus his performance on tape, it's easy to see him succeeding in the NFL. It's possible that Harry may be off the board by the time the Redskins are picking, so he may not be entirely realistic. That said, he will be one of the top players to consider if he is available, as he could fill a role in the team's receiving corps very easily. Page 4 Ann Arbor, MI, in November 3, Chase Winovich. Photo by Leon Halep, Getty Images. Chase Winovich just seems like the kind of player that the Redskins would consider targeting in the second round of the draft. He's an edge rusher with a relentless motor and solid athletic ability. He fits the mold of the imperfect, high-upside player that they have targeted in round 2 inches the past. In his 3 years as a pass rusher at Michigan, Winovich totaled 18.5 sacks. He was generally solid and created plenty of pressure during his time with the Wolverines. He has the makings of a good starter at the NFL level, and his display at the Combine was a nice one. Winovich had a sub-7 second time in the 3-cone drill while clocking a 4.59 in the 40-yard dash. Both of those marks are very good and are demonstrative of his athletic upside. Because as good as it is to have an unstoppable motor, it doesn't hurt to have high-level athletic skills. Winovich looked good in the drills he participated in as well. That was a net positive overall. Want your voice heard? Join the Rigos Rag team. Write for us. Winovich would be a potential complement to Ryan Kerrigan, who could play in tandem with Ryan Anderson. He has a better athletic skill set than Anderson, so they could play each situationally and find a way to utilize their strengths. If the Redskins aren't comfortable with the edge players on the board at the 15th pick, they could opt for another position in the first round. Or, they could just target a quarterback with that pick and still have a need on the edge during day 2. And if that happens, Winovich would be a nice consolation prize at this point in the draft. Page 5 FORT Worth TX, December 3, Justin Silman. Carter Stadium on December 3, 2016 in Fort Worth, Texas. Photo by Tom Pennington, Getty Images. It's no secret that the Redskins are looking to add some help on the offensive line. The left guard position has long been an issue for the team and they lack depth across the unit as well. They will likely add someone on the line with one of their day 3 picks, and Dalton Risner would make a lot of sense. Risner has been a steady riser during the draft process. He has a nice frame at 6'5", 312 pounds, and while he isn't particularly athletic, he has experience at most of the positions on the offensive line. He can be molded into a position at the NFL level, and he should be a really good blocker for the team that lands him. NFL.com's Lance Zierlein compared Risner to another former Kansas State product and second-round pick Cody Whitehair. Here's what he had to say about Risner's skill set. Risner possesses average length and athletic ability, but with enough tape consumption, it becomes clear he has the necessary tools to get guys blocked on the NFL level. Risner is the same player on every snap with core strength, body control, and strong hands, allowing him to succeed on a relatively consistent basis. His position flexibility, started at right tackle and center, and play traits mirror those of former KSU standout Cody Whitehair. Risner will need to prove he can handle NFL edge speed, but a move inside could be a fail-safe option for him. Zierlein nailed this report. The top things that Risner has are his versatility and his strength and technique. He should be able to find a home at guard or center in the NFL, while he could also have a chance to play tackle in the right scenario. For Washington, Risner would have a chance to start right away at left guard and challenge Ereck Flowers for the starting job. And if he doesn't win it, Risner could be a super sub for the Redskins, who would love to have that type of player, especially after the injuries they dealt with on the offensive line last year. Page 6 CHARLOTT, NC, September 2nd, Deebo Samuel. Photo by Streeterletska, Getty Images. If Samuel is on the board in the second round, the Redskins should hesitate to pick him. He's a great, versatile receiver with a great speed and route running ability and should be one of the safer picks in the draft. Samuel was both a burner at Georgia and a fantastic red zone route runner. Despite having a smaller 5'11" frame, Samuel was able to become a red zone weapon, as he uses his excellent footwork and quick get-off and speed to find space to catch touchdowns. He's a non-traditional red zone weapon, and that should translate to the NFL level pretty easily. Samuel will have the ability to play pretty much any position in the receiving corps. He can play outside and he could occupy the slot. Simply put, there's a lot he can do and not a lot that he can't do. He has the upside needed to be a high-end no.2 target in an offense, and could be a temporary number one receiver in Washington. He has a high floor, and should be a solid weapon in some way, shape or form. Next, Redskins 3-round mock with the team trading round 2 pick. The potential of landing Samuel in the second round is exactly what the Redskins should target, a pass catcher at this juncture. There are plenty of players with upside in round 2, and Samuel represents the best of them. Hopefully, the Skins recognize this and target the position with their first day 2 pick.